Parlez-Vous, Poulette? Today, join us to make this cute and fun spring hen craft. All paper, all fun, and it's kind of inspired by some of those French whimsical ceramic pottery chickens with the bulbous bodies and the long necks, big eyes. To make this craft today, you're going to need the following supplies. Colored paper, 3 to 4 colors of choice, some felt, which is optional but make nice pupils, hot glue or adhesive like clear tape, scissors, paint, a cotton swab, and you could also have an egg and Spanish moss paper or other filler. Let's get started. What we're going to do here is we're going to start with the body, and that is going to be, I'm going to use orange. Now, as you will recall with a lot of our other crafts, you need to square this off. I'm not going to fold it to do what you would normally do to do that, but just cut maybe about 2 inches off lengthwise, like so. Put that aside. Get your tape ready here, and just make yourself a cone. See, like this. And it doesn't have to be perfectly pointed at the end, really, because you're going to cover it with the comb there. This is the wattle. But wattle and comb set aside here. Let's go ahead and tape this together like this. And it doesn't need a whole lot to keep it together, but just enough where you can be assured that you can actually put it down. And then take your scissors and cut. You can start here where you have the flat edge and then cut straight across like this. You may need to cut it a few times, but you essentially want to make sure that it will stand on its own. And I think this does so beautifully. It is a little leaning back, but that's okay because it's kind of a chicken. She's kind of leaning back there, so that works. And then you want to take on the opposite side of the seam on the back that you tape together, you want to make a circle right about here. And to do that, you could just take your scissors here and take very carefully, and whatever means you want to do, and start cutting your circle. Just kind of pressed a hole in there. Large enough for an egg to go inside. So you may need to cut out a few times, like this. Depending on how sharp your scissors are, these are fairly dull, to be honest. So you might not have a nice edge around there, but I think that is fair enough. You could also take tissue paper, or even felt, or another type of paper that's thin, and kind of fold over these lines to give it a more clean look. But just very basic, so you have that. Now, what do you want to do next? Let's make the various other parts. You've obviously have your comb, you have your beak, your wattle, your eyes, your wings, and your tail feathers. You can do those in any order you would like. So let's just put that aside. What I'm going to do is eyeballs. So cutting things freehand, I think it's important. It does not need to be uniform necessarily. Just my personal opinion. I think, you know, having the confidence and the desire to just do something, dive right in and not have it be completely perfect. And the good thing about doing that when you're doing something like eyes is that you need 2 eyes instead of 1 for most things. So you can take the one that you cut initially, use that as a template so that the two eyes are relatively the same size, like this. And you can see these eyes, I made them extra large. Got these whimsical big eyes. Kind of makes me think this design is kind of, I don't know, it's reminiscent of those that enjoy the Muppets. Beaker, big eyeballs, you know, you even have kind of, this is, you know, just something cute for the egg, for the hen, but, you know, the mouth. So you have those two eyes, and I have black felt. As I said before, you could use black paper, but I just happen to have this, so now I'm going to make those pupils. Same principle. You can make them big, small, it's up to you. Let me go ahead and round these out. The sharper your scissors are, obviously, the better job they will do in getting those eyes. Just like you did with the eyeball, you can do the same for the pupil. And use that initial cut as your template. And continue going around like so. All right. Boom. We've got two pupils there. Now, don't need this anymore. Put that aside. For fun, I'm going to put that little sparkle there. I'm going to do squares this time. I think I did circles before, but I can do squares there. And you know what else you could do? You could make eyelashes or eyebrows. Let's do some eyelashes, because those we can connect. So I'm going to take this flat edge here, and I'm going to make it just look like grass. I mean, you could do something nice and soft and feathery, but I think this is just going to be like, I don't know, like a mountain landscape, mountain range sort of look. Let's see. And, you know, just experiment. Could actually cut these in half. What do you think? That. Just kind of see where we are. Let's actually put these so you can see what I'm doing here. We're just assembling our parts. Oh, I've lost the other eyelash. Huh, where'd it go? Let's just use this. Okay. So you're assembling here. And, all right, I'm going to go with a traditional red comb. You can cut this somewhat in half just to make it easier. All right, so for the comb, you can stick to the heart shape because it's kind of easy to cut a heart, or you can cut a heart and then cut a bump inside. But the way I'm going to do this is fold this in half, because the folded part will be on top. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut a little hole there like this, and then cut up like that, kind of make you think of a Y. So you have this shape. Now you can further round out those edges like this. Okay. And just kind of try this on for size, what this will look like. You want to make sure the base of your comb is large enough. I mean, this is about, well, you know, that looks about to be an inch. But because the opening is wider, I mean, you could always do, you could flatten it, and then you could do this, and that will make it pretty easy. So I think that's pretty good. And You can make adjustments as you go, as you piece this together. So we have the comb. All right, let's take this scrap of orange, and I'm going to just free-handedly make another heart shape to kind of put there. There you go. Now, what else do we need? We need a beak. If you want to make those two separate colors, you could. I'm not going to use the orange because the body is orange, so we'll just stick to the red. Beaks are easy because all you really need is a square. Fold your square in half, and this will be a very short beak. You can make a simple triangle like this, and it's going to open like that. Okay, you've got a beak. All right, what else do you need? You need the wattle. So to do that, take another scrap of paper, nice long strip here. And as I've said before, and I'm a huge admirer of Matisse back in the day with the Impressionist sort of thing, you're using your scissors like you would use clay or anything else, any other type of medium to form your objects. So this is another reason why I think cutting freehand is nice, because you can modify it as you go along. Fold that over like that, and you've got the bottom end. Now, generally speaking, the wattle is here on the left and right. They're actually two pieces on a chicken or a hen or rooster. But we're just going to do the one for simplicity's sake. And I want to make sure these are fairly even. So yes, modeling with your scissors. Okay, so now that that's uniformly done there, you pretty much have, and if you want to, I mean, you certainly could copy this and make another, but again, we'll keep it simple for today and make one. And now we need wings, tail feathers. The tail feathers you could use, and I'm going to do those first because I think it'll look nicer if you put those on first and then your wings. Although, again, you could do it either way. But for that rectangle, now you want to cut lengthwise and make them long. So let's see here. They could be as thin or as thick as you would like. You can leave them in this shape, or you can round out the edges where you curl them under. Completely up to you. And you can make as many as you want. This chick, she only has 4, well, actually 5. But again, you can make as many as you want. I'm going to do 3. And again, you can, let's give these a little bit of tip there. So you have 3 tail feathers. Okay. All right, so we have, now I actually want to use the pink. So let me move this aside for now. I want to use the pink, and I want to do some contrasting colors to give a little more interest and life to those tail feathers. And these will be obviously longer. I'm only going to do 2. I will put those out there like so as well. Okay, got those 2. Let's go back to this. Eyes, lashes. You could even make, look at that. That's cool. Take advantage of those scraps. You just never know what you'll find. So you have that. Got your beak, comb, tail feathers, wattle. What else? We need wings. Again, it's just deciding. Color palette. Use what you have. You could do it all the same color. Make it contrasting colors. I don't know. I'm going to do white wings, I suppose. So let me take this. and fold over. And this is just going to make it easier so that both wings are uniformly cut. And I think what I will do is kind of just, think to yourself. Do you want the wings like this? Do you want them like this? How are they oriented? I'm going to go with up. And, younger children could trace their hands. Hands make good body parts, as well as it's your own body part. There you go. And then cut this to separate the two. Voila. And you have your wings for your poulet. Okay, now we have some wings here. You can embellish those a bit more if you wanted to. But that is pretty much it. Let's make sure we have everything, shall we? We've got the comb, eyes, whatever pieces and parts for those eyes, the pupils, what have you, beak, wattle, wings, tail feathers. All right, so guess what? You're ready to piece this together. So what I'm going to do is take this, move this aside. I'm using a glue gun. By all means, you don't need one. You can use tape, whatever adhesive you have. And I'm going to go ahead and start assembling things. And I'm going to go from the top down. I think that system will be good. Go ahead and I'm going to put that heart right here. As always, be careful when you're using your glue gun. I feel that my hands and fingers are pretty desensitized at this point. Even if they get burned, I'm like, it's okay. And then what you can do, let me make sure you can see here, I'm just going to put some glue here on the perimeters or the outside edges. And then very carefully, put this on the front, situate this here, kind of put that down, make sure this closes. Okay, and then you can put just a bit more glue once you have it situated where you want it, and make sure that everything comes together. You can even put some glue here. And if it gets too hot to the touch, remember you can use something like the handles of a scissor, a wooden dowel, anything that you have to kind of protect your hands or fingers from the heat. Okay. Of course, we don't want that on there. All right. There we have that. Now, eyes. Let's focus on these eyes. Go ahead and first things first, I'm going to glue the eyes together. Just slightly overlap. Put those down. Make sure this is in view. Put some glue there so that you can put your pupils in. Like this. Get those strings there of the drying glue. Now we have these two little bits here. Put there, put a dot there. And this is such a cool thing, I think, to do. It's unique. Everyone who makes one, it's going to be slightly different. This is one of the cool things you get to see as an art teacher with little kids. You have the one lesson plan, but everyone's own interpretation, and it's just really cool to see those different styles, different colors possibly. So you have that, and then there's this little piece here. And I think I'm going to put it right here on the edge, just kind of as a little eyebrow. Look at that. There we go. Clean off the little fuzz and make sure that these lashes look the way you want. I think I'm going to modify that one a little. Okay. Put that there. And then put a little bit here. Yeah, there we go on this side. You could have fun with the lashes. Especially, it makes me think of my teen who is currently really into the fake lashes, but they're just like the really big black ones. They really stand out, but they're kind of cool. All right, so we have some eyes. All right, now kind of adjust where we're going to put that. I'm going to cover up that seam there, so that there. There we go. What do you think of that? So far, so good. Chicken is coming along, or hen. I'm just going to round these out just a slight bit, because again, just kind of forming them. All right, now let's do the wattle next. Then you can put the beak on that. You know, I said I wasn't going to do this, but I am. We're going to do two. So let's do, you do need to attach them. So go ahead and do that. The ends there. So you have your loop like that. And you do the same with this one. Lightly attach. Like this. Hold that down. Okay. I'm going to put these here. Okay. Just going to put a little bit of glue there. You can situate these items as close to the eyes or as far from, entirely up to you. I think this seems nice to me. Okay, hold those down for a bit. You've got your beak. Am I happy with the beak? There we go. All right. And then take some, you can kind of flatten out the edge here. Put some right there on that seam of your triangle. And then place here, like this. Hold that down, just to make sure it gets a nice stick to it. Then you can manipulate by doing this with your fingers. You can see you may need to apply more glue. This is why, if you have a glue gun, and depending on age, if you feel comfortable with it, I think it works really well. Got a little bit of glue there. I'm going to take and remove because you don't want to see that once it dries. There we go. Okay. All right. Coming along. All right. Now, what I would have done is possibly paint and decorate. I like the polka dot look because, again, it's just something that kind of stuck with me. But you could use any sort of design or paint or none. Let's experiment with the wings here. We're going to do like this. So I'm going to put this down like this and just kind of see where are we going to put the wings. That you kind of, you're not necessarily going to see the back of this guy, but it really depends on how you want to engineer your chicken and how much your aesthetics matter to the back there. whether or not they're connected or something like that. But I'm going to go ahead and put that one there. When you're using hot glue, you can just kind of wait a little bit. And then for this, you want them to be, you know, slightly symmetrical. So, oops, right here, press down like this. If you wanted to put some tape to kind of reinforce, you could. But I have the glue, so I'm just going to use some more glue. I'm kind of holding it down, slightly bending the cone, just so I have some, what's the word I'm looking for? You're pressing it down. All right. Okay. And this here, I think I'm going to shorten this a little, only because it's kind of messing with my eye. All right. Okay. Now all we have to do are tail feathers. So the tail feathers you can do, you can make first, and then instead of doing them individually, you've got those made. How do you do that? Pretty simple. Just take some glue at the center and then place this on top like this, and then another piece of glue there. Put that on top. Okay. So far, this is what you have. You have your 3 tail feathers. And then you can you can either put these on, curl them, and then place these inside, like we've done here. And I think that's what I will do this time. I'm going to round this out like that. Okay. Giving it a nice clean look. Put some more glue on there. Where do we want these feathers? Let's put the feathers there. Hold that down. Now for these, you can take, and I'll use this glue stick. And if you want to use something and just curl this down, curl it this way toward you, like this. Repeat here. Let me pull this out. Just roll it down like this. Hold it a bit. There you go. Do the same for this. To curl this paper like this. Okay. These, now see, this is why we make these extra long, because we want to be able to see some of them from the front. You can poke those in like this. And you want to do the same by taking, and I'm only going to roll this one a little, just like this, just the tips. Okay, all right. And whoops, let's put this guy there. I will go ahead and glue these in like this. Glue that in there. Tail feathers are easy because you can just hold the back and they go right in. A little bit there. You don't need much. I think this craft is super fun, especially, you know, the kids can make these and you can use them as table settings. You know, making a tablescape is really fun, even for just your weeknight dinner. Coordinating your napkins, your plates, your glasses, learning about table settings, things like this. Have fun with it. But essentially, here she is. What do you think? Now, I don't have here, as I have in this example, but you can put some sort of bedding in there, like I said before. Raffia, moss, grass, paper, whatever you have on hand. And then of course you can put your egg. Let me take this one out. Now I can't hold both at the same time here. Take your egg and you can put, what do I want to do? Let's take a little bit of this here. Like I was saying, make a nest. Look at that. Just put the egg right in there, like so. And there you go. Fabulous, fun, whimsical. We would love to see what you do again with these sorts of crafts. Give us your feedback. Always would like to know. Thank you for joining Crafty Creations. If you need a recap of supplies, let us know. Go back to the beginning of the video and have fun. Take care. Stay crafty.